Hello, my name is Doug Leisure, and I am recording this short video to introduce you to my newest version that I'll be releasing in 2026 of my donation software, the simple, flexible tool to help churches and nonprofit organizations record donations. If you're part of a church or a nonprofit organization, you know how much time it can take to manage your donations, to prepare your bank deposits, to create the year-end receipts. In this video, I'll show you an Excel-based tool that makes all of this faster, simpler, and more accurate, even if you're not an Excel expert. This donation software was created specifically for churches and nonprofit ministries. It helps you record your donations, prepare your bank deposits, track giving by fund or category, print monthly reports to keep your leadership informed, and print professional-looking year-end donor receipts. If your church also needs expense tracking, the software includes optional tools for recording your payments, monitoring your account balances, and generating an income versus expense type report using Excel's built-in features. The entire system runs on Microsoft Excel, so there is no database setup, no subscriptions, no complicated learning curve. Everything is fully customizable, so your church can tailor it to your needs and your own giving categories, calendar or fiscal years, your language and currency, as well as your reporting needs. Let's take a quick look at some of the benefits. So one of the things the software does is to help speed up the recording of your giving, the donations, whether you do that weekly, monthly, multiple times per Sunday. The process is quick and accurate. You record your donations given as cash, as checks, or electronically, such as Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, Tithely, or any other electronic fund transfer methodology. You track your giving by donor and fund. So you create your list of donors, assign a donor number, a unique identifier to each one of those, and that's how we enter the donor information. So the donor number, as you enter it, we do a little lookup to confirm that look up the name to confirm that you've entered the correct donor ID. We also have an optional way to do a lookup by name. So as you start typing, we're looking at your donor list and creating a list of donors that match what you've typed. And then you just simply select the donor name when you see it, and the software will enter the donor number for you. So I'll look up by name. You enter the cash, check, or EFT amount, and as you do that, then you can identify where that donation should be given, which categories. So that's how we assign it to different categories. You get to define those categories and how many of those you want to use. We have built-in accuracy checks. So as you are entering the information, sometimes we have, as we're typing things, our fingers sometimes do hit the wrong numbers, and we enter information that doesn't quite match. So the red here is the indication that this particular donor's information does not match. It doesn't balance. What came in and compared to what we distributed to the different categories is out of balance. Okay, and sometimes our donors themselves do the incorrect math. So if they wanted to divide it evenly, they might type it this way, and as we enter it, we realize things aren't balancing, don't match up. So it gives us the chance to recognize an error before we go on, and then to fix that. Sorry, the other way. to adjust it so that things are in balance before you move on. Simple process, but just balancing each donation before we move on was one of the problems we had in our previous system, and by doing this simple step, it has saved us hundreds and hundreds of hours over the years that we've been using the software. Simple but effective methodology. Also, the software will simplify our bank deposits. So at the end of our entry, we're sitting here with this pile of cash and checks, and we have two needs. One is we need to take that to the bank and do a deposit. Secondarily is we want to do a reconciliation step to make sure this pile of cash and checks match what we've entered. So we have a simple process of doing that. So here we just simply enter the quantity of each of our coins and dollars. So if we had 10 $1 bills and 2 $5 bills and 5 $10 bills, oops, sorry, 7 10, still not right, 4 $10 bills and 7 20s. We know that we use volunteers to help us out in our a lot of times in our process of recording the donations, and not all of them are as good as other people, who are counting cash all the time. They can do that in their head, but sometimes our volunteers aren't quite as good as some others, and rather than asking them to do the math in their head, we just simply say, count the quantities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tell me you have 7 $20 bills. Let Excel do the math so we can get things recorded correctly. And in a very similar way, we record the dollar amounts of our checks as a reconciliation process for that as well. So if we have a $20 check and a $10 check and another $20 check, we just enter the check amounts, and we also then can reconcile the checks to make sure everything matches. So at the end of the day, not only is this reconciliation process a good step, but this becomes then our bank deposit information, exactly what we're going to take to the bank. Okay, in addition to that, we are creating a detailed giving history. So as you do your work week after week or month after month, we are recording the information here, and so this will build a history of all of our donations by person, by date, and by category. We also create year-end statements for our donors. So when you get to the end of the year, we will create basically a customized receipt for every donor. And what used to take us literally days to create a receipt for all of our donors, now we can do all of that with a single click and have all of our donors' receipts printed in just a matter of minutes. You can easily add the church logo to this receipt, and you can customize the information on the receipt to match what you need at your church. Also, I mentioned that you can customize it. I've provided nearly 100 adjustable settings so that you can adapt the software to work the way you need to with your church, not the other way around. And so the parameter tab is how you make your adjustments. Simple things like the church name and address, adjustments to how things will function, the critical part where you can tell it how many categories you want to use for your donations, and the names of those various categories, what you use at your organization. Also, it quickly and easily keeps your leadership informed. So we have these reports that we can give to the leadership. We do this monthly at our church, and it shows the leadership how the donations are coming in by month, as well as our year-to-date totals. And we can track the giving over time. As you continue to use this software over multiple years, then we will build a 5-year comparison, looking back over the past 5 years, to report how we've seen the growth patterns and to celebrate how God is providing for our organization. All right, let's dive down just a little bit deeper into some of the core features. As I've already mentioned, the entire system is built in Microsoft Excel, which is used by more than 750 million people worldwide, a very recognized and well-known tool. That means that support, tutorials, and resources for using Excel are very easy to find. And because it uses Excel VBA automations and protected worksheets, you don't need to be an expert to use this tool. Navigation is clean and simple. A custom menu guides you through the tasks that you perform each week. So Microsoft Excel already has this concept of these standard menus and the ribbon methodology for displaying the things you do within each ribbon, and I've created my own custom menu to work with the software, with all the things that you need to do to use the software right here in this simple menu within Excel. We've already talked about how it's customizable with all these different parameters that you can use to adjust how the software works, and how you can adjust it to work for your particular organization. We also have multilingual support, so you can choose from the various languages, translations that are already installed, such as it ships with English, Spanish, Portuguese, Burmese, Japanese, French, simplified Chinese, Korean, and Hindi. So you just simply select the language off of the list, and the entire software converts and immediately displays in your selected language. And you can add your own translation if it's not here already. Easy for you to add your own translation. Okay. Also, the software is trusted worldwide. Here's a simple map showing where the software is currently in use. So far, I've given it to more than 1,600 churches in over 30 countries. You can enter your donations weekly. You can enter them monthly, which works out really well for the nonprofits. And the layout keeps everything clear and consistent. It tracks up to 20 different categories. Includes the option to enter in-kind gifts, to adjust your currency if you're outside of the United States, and in addition to the standard categories that we use week after week after week, you also have the option to enter special offerings. I know at our church it seems like every month we have some new special offering going on. So you can enter unlimited special offerings. All right, we also have the ability to manage our donors. So you just create your list of donors, assign the donor number, that unique identifier, optionally enter their address, their email address, and in addition to this, some people have used it to track other things that they want to track for their donors, so that this can be extended to meet your needs as well. We talked about the leadership reporting tools. And again, we at our church, we print this at the end of every month so the leadership knows how things are going in the current year by category. And we can easily make corrections if an error takes place. Hey, we're only human, so we know that we are going to occasionally make mistakes. So the annual tab is where the history is stored. And so if we make a mistake, it's this one place that we go to correct any problems that we have, to fix any errors. Now, as we mentioned before, most of these worksheet tabs are protected so you don't accidentally mess them up. But if we do have a small error, we can easily unprotect the tab and then make the correction. In this case, Dylan is actually donor 101. We accidentally typed 201. So we just simply unprotect it and make the correction. And then as easily we can reprotect the sheet. Okay, let's take a quick look at the expense tracking. This is the optional part. I know that most of you will be using the software to track donations and make your receipts for the end of the year. But a few years ago, I had a church that said, please, please, I love your software, but I need to be able to track the expenses and to make a report showing the income versus expense. Can you please do something for me? So we've added this optional capability for you to also track your expenses. So let's take a quick look at that. Okay, so the first thing is to understand that this is done in a simple check register format. So it feels an awful lot like you're working with your checkbook. So donations, the good news is that the donations that you make will or can move over here automatically, so you don't have to enter your deposits. They can be entered automatically for you. So all you need to do is focus on entering the payment portion. Okay, and so as I said, it works kind of like a check register. So you would enter your check number, the date, optionally a payee for this check, as well as your expense categories and subcategories. And these can be done right off of a drop-down list to simplify the entry for you. The other thing is you can also then, if you have multiple accounts like checking account, savings account, credit card, you can also use a drop down to select which account that particular payment or deposit is coming out of, and keep track of multiple accounts. We do allow up to 10 different accounts that you can use, and we also give you the ability to track the balance information. So enter the opening balance for the year. As you are making deposits and payments, the software will automatically track of that and calculate your ending balance. And to help reconciliation, we also allow you to very easily identify which items you have recorded but are not yet being displayed on your bank or credit card statement. Just identify those things that are missing or outstanding, and then we can then mathematically remove that from your current balance, so that we can actually create a balance that should match your statement. So just a process to help with that reconciliation as well. Also, we can create using a standard Excel pivot table an income versus expense type report. Okay, so your donations, your deposits are entered as positive numbers and displayed then by month, your expenses are entered or recorded or displayed here as negative numbers by category and subcategory, and that then allows us to see then our net amount by month. I can't change the word here from grand total wording as part of Excel pivot table. I can't change that, but do know that this is actually my net for the month and my overall net income then for the year to date. All right. Finally, I just wanted to let you know that that if your church or your ministry organization needs this kind of a simple, accurate, fully customizable way to manage your donations and optionally your expenses, this Excel-based software might be exactly what you've been looking for. And I'm going to encourage you, in this video, I will put a link to my website that you can use to find additional information, other videos I will be recording over time. Also, the user guide is available here to download, and I'm also going to put a link, not a link, but my email address. I'll put in the in this video description, so that if you want a copy of this, please just send me an email message and request it, and I will gladly send this out to you. All right, thank you very much, and as I said, I will be making additional videos on this software, showing you how to install it on a PC, how to install it on a Mac, a more detailed description of the donation portion, as well as a more detailed description of the expense tracking. All right, thank you.